Hi everyone, I hope that you had a good first day exploring the outdoors. What a wild weather day to do that. Snow in the morning, rain in the afternoon, at least for us here in Ontario. Yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of a picture and kind of how to model the thinking process through a local inquiry because it's so great to go outside and to explore, but like how do you make the most of that and what do you even do with those questions and observations? How do you help your child to extend their learning in a way that really makes a difference? So the sketchbook idea I posted about that, that's a really great way to kind of take something with you. And then also just whether on your fridge or on the side of, I don't know, a panel somewhere on a wall upstairs. I just have like this little cork board. So we're starting, we have a few things up on it so far. And so I just write some questions down after I listen to her, make some observations. And it helps to also to document some misconceptions. So it lets me know where some of her gaps in her learning are and what are some areas that we can press into a little bit more. So for example, here are some things that we saw today on our walk. And out of a lot of our conversations about this bush, actually in particular, we kind of came around to this question, what makes a tree a tree? So obviously this has to do with categorization, different types and kinds, which is really interesting and a really great kind of direction to go if you want to go in that kind of a direction. I kind of started to pose that question to her and she came up with some interesting thoughts. Like a tree is a flower, a tree is a kind of plant, a tree is a bunny's home, a tree is a bush. A tree has leaves on it and the leaves are the hair. So interesting. And the roots are inside the tree. So already I can see a lot of misconceptions. And even in the way that we were conversing throughout the day, she used a lot of words around like, well, somebody told me that. And we'll say, well, how do you know? Well, because I just know. And so these are really great clues for us if we're at home with our kids, teaching them from day to day to understand how they're thinking and how they're processing and where they're gathering their information and how to help guide them in new directions so that they can actually observe and respond and take in some new information. So I hope that that's helpful. Also, I have a few great resources here that I've posted already. These books are just, I got these from like a local like yard sale one time. They're called Nature's Children, adorable. But anyway, if you just get any book about local North American animals, there's all kinds of great things in there. But what was interesting about this when we were talking about acorns that she found on the way was she said, oh, I imagine the squirrels are going to love being here. And so I thought, well, we have this book about squirrels at home, so maybe we can go to the page about what squirrels eat. And of course, indeed, they had a page about what squirrels eat. But what they also had was other things that squirrels eat. And she started to talk about, well, hey, we eat some of those things too. And so we made a list of what makes us like a squirrel in the food that we eat and what makes us different. So we eat things like mushrooms and berries and seeds just like a squirrel, but we don't eat things like grubs and worms and acorns. So just another way to kind of extend your child's learning. This is a great series of books actually that I use a lot. It's called, well, this one is called Tracks, Scats, and Signs. So really fun to kind of look at different things that you might find outside. So this page about rabbits, because we found some bunny poop and some animal tracks. And so just being able to read a little bit more about what we found today. And so I'm just marking these pages so that we can go back to them throughout the week and continue to learn together. So I hope that that kind of gives you a little bit of a picture of just how we can start to build something out so that you're not just saying, oh, that's an interesting question, or oh, we saw this today, but what does that mean? And how can we start to gather a fuller picture? So I'm probably going to start to do some category work, some genus work about the different kinds of plant life. Even in this book, it talked about families. So that's an interesting thing for kids to think about. Tree families, plant families, So just all the different kinds of categorization, that's something that I can see emerging from this, and also a lot more labeling, understanding, the trees having roots inside of them is a misconception, but interesting to start to look into, well, what is inside of a tree? And if the roots aren't inside a tree, then where are they? And so to start to really get to know the things that are in our backyard.